Welcome to Canispata Christmas. Merry Christmas Eve. I hope that all of you that have set up lights for your first time this year, the displays are going wonderfully. If you still have a few things to do, don't worry about it. You still got plenty of time. Get on the Xlights Zoom call if you are still having trouble. We've got a lot of new viewers, and people have already started asking me about getting set up for next year. I got an email from somebody that was asking a bunch of questions, and I thought, well, okay, instead of typing out this book that I plan on typing, I'm just going to make a video. So let's just kind of get started from day one here. If this is, if you're planning for next year, first thing I would ask you to do is go through. I have a beginner RGB pixel playlist that has several videos in there that really just kind of covers the basics. What you need from the different pieces of equipment. Some things you don't have to have, obviously. If you have some of these parts, then you're not going to have to purchase these parts. But, it just kind of gives you a good overall view. Plus, I also got Keith's Xlights training in there. It is a 3-hour video, but it takes you end to end through Xlights. The second thing I would ask you to do is go out. I've got links in the description of all my videos. There are forum groups if you prefer that. There are Facebook groups if you prefer that. Get on those. You will get in contact with people that are doing this all over the world. They can answer a lot of your questions. You will pick up a lot of ideas, and there is some silliness that goes on in those areas. But it's a great community, and I encourage you to just get involved. Just get on there and start asking questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions on those because people are there to help. There is also a Zoom room. So Zoom is kind of you can see, if you have a webcam, you can put your lovely face on, into your computer and people can see it. If you're having trouble, it's great for troubleshooting, so you can show your screen and we can, kind of take a look at what you're doing. Every Wednesday night there is I don't know every Wednesday night, but Wednesday nights is when they have they will present something about, what we're doing here, lighting. There are also people in there outside of just Wednesday night. Especially now, they're helping people, finalize their displays and work through some of the issues. But, when it's not the hot season like it is right now, there are people that are hanging out there. So if you have questions, you can usually ask somebody those questions and you can get them answered immediately. So it's really kind of a cool setup, cool thing that Xlights provides. And I highly encourage you to just check into it. There's also an event called Christmas Expo that will be in July. This coming July, it will be in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's usually always a great time. I highly encourage everybody to go to that if you can make it. It does move around every year. Last year it was in Daytona Beach, Florida. This next coming year it will be in Las Vegas, so hopefully it's nearer to you so you don't have to travel as far, that kind of stuff. So let's get to this email. Let's see. I'm very intrigued by the hobby and I have the computer pieces for it. I'm lucky enough to have access to recycled computers for clients. Machines are in perfect shape and would work well. I actually have a couple of questions I can't seem to answer. Okay, first off, you will need probably 2 computers. One computer needs to be a beefy computer. It should be able to handle creating the sequences. So this is something where you're doing the editing. This is beforehand. It's probably your main computer. It's one that has enough horsepower to run Xlights and to be able to assemble your sequence. So what you do is if you're running music, you'll load the music in. If you're just doing an animation, you start from scratch. But say it's 3 or 4 minutes long as a typical sequence. You will put your effects on there. The computer does a rendering and it outputs a binary, what's called an FSEQ file. Now, you will probably have several of those. I probably have about 20 different songs that I run in my show. So then you have a player. Now, a player can be a PC or it can be a Raspberry Pi. So there's where the two, the lesser computer comes in. All it does is it takes those FSEQ files, pumps them out to your controllers, and they control your lights. So 2 computers, one to create the sequences and another one it's basically a scheduler. So it comes on at the appropriate time. It runs through all your sequences automatically, starts the playlist over depending on how many you have. It can change playlists, whatever. But that doesn't take a lot of processing power, so it can be a fairly small computer. And so there's Xschedule if you're running it on a computer, a PC or a Mac or Linux. Or there is Falcon Pi Player or Falcon Player now, which runs on Raspberry Pi, BeagleBones, several different boards, and you can take a look at that. So first, how do you decide what to put lights on? I think I'm looking at the equation from the opposite end. I own a house, but not sure what design I should make that would look good. So far, the only thing that really wows me is the wreath you created and lit up. Something like that might look really cool. It feels kind of small compared to what's possible. Okay. The wreath does look really cool. And I may build another one. I'm not sure about that yet. That one is 288 pixels. It's on a 4 foot by 4 foot sheet of plexiglass, so it's pretty cool. The rings are exactly 72 pixels each, so you can do a lot of nice patterns on that thing, and it does look really good. I am not a lighting designer by any means, so I really don't have expertise in kind of getting you in that direction. I will tell you, though, that a lot of people start with outlines. The important thing is to have a lot of verticals and a lot of horizontals. So lines. So outlining windows, outlining your garage door, doing lines along your eaves, maybe even lines down the corner of the house. Because when you start dragging effects to your display, you can have effects that go all across your whole display, and having a bunch of horizontals and verticals will help show that pattern go across, because you're not going to cover your house with pixels. Just try to stay away from strip your first year. I don't hate strip. It is just kind of fiddly, the most fiddly pixels that you can get. They look great. People do use them for horizontal lines a lot, and in fact, even some people have commented on the last video. I did a whole video on strip, that they have put up strip permanently on their eaves and don't have any trouble. Okay, that's fine. Just make sure that if you do that, you can get to it, because you may need to maintain those pixels. But using strip is fine. I have strip in my arches. I had a wreath made out of it, but I'm not going to be able to get to it to maintain it, so it's probably not going to survive the year. And I'll go up with something else, and that's fine. Also, somebody said for me to check out the new 2815 strip, so I'll add some of that to the order this year and check those out. It probably won't happen until March, but I'll check those out and see if they hold up any better. In fact, I'll do a test. May not be apples to apples, but anyway. So that's it. Verticals, horizontals, outlining things. It's personal preference. What do you like? There are also things that now you mentioned props, so the wreath is a prop. It's not an outline of anything. It's a special prop. So and highly encourage you to go to buscoyo.com. They make a lot of Coro products. They make strip that you can put the regular bullet pixels in. These are bullet pixels, and then they also have flat bullets. It's the same diameter here, but they're just flat. You know, personal preferences to which one they use. They really look the same. But if you need to make like a vertical line, there is strip that you can buy, and you can put these bullet pixels or the flat bullets in there, and they look great straight lines. If you're doing horizontals, there is a chroma trim product that'll help you. Same thing, the bullets or flat bullets in a it's kind of a, I don't know, some kind of plastic. It's a, you know, thin plastic like that, but it's thick, so you can tie it to EMT or just hang it up on something, and it'll keep everything in a straight line horizontally. Or you can use strip if you want to mess with that. Some other things though, this will make a tree, and you just put bullet pixels in here, and so it makes a little tree. So I got one of these. Someone was asking about what was your assortment of props. So I got this one to take a look at. This is just a thin, you see that thin piece of plasticky stuff. It's kind of like the old strip, so it's textured on one side and smooth on the other. This one is made out of Coro, so you put the pixels in there and you bend it, and it makes a little tree. I also got a larger tree to try out, and these come with little stars on top. So if you're looking to make things that you can set out or things that you can hang up, Buscoyo is a good place to go to get stuff that you can populate with pixels, and you know, it makes different shapes. You can get snowflakes and stars and that kind of stuff. So I would highly recommend that you go check them out, and you know, whatever you want to do. But really, bottom line, it's your personal preference. What do you think looks good? Now, I would also say go to the Facebook groups and look at people's displays. Also go on YouTube and look at people's displays that, you know, people post videos of their display. So pick up ideas. So that's another option for you. It really just kind of depends on what you want to do. As a non-experienced lighting designer that I am, start with horizontals and verticals, and then, you know, just whatever you like, whatever you think looks good, is something I would suggest. Can you use Christmas lights? I'm assuming you're meaning AC lights. You can. I think that's the closed versus open you were talking about in your beginner series. I saw somewhere on the web where you were offering a class on this. All right. So yes, you can use AC lights. You need an AC light controller. LOR makes great AC light controllers. You can run the LOR AC controller off of something like a Falcon Pixel controller, and you know, so the data can go through there. You program everything in Xlights. You can run AC lights if that's what you want to do. So, you know, people have huge investments in AC lights, and now they're kind of getting interested in pixels and want to know how to hook it up. That's how you would do it. You can get a pixel controller to run your pixels, and then you'd also output data to an AC controller if it accepts that kind of stuff. Class, yes, I have a class. It's essentially this channel boiled down into a couple of hour-long class. It's on Udemy. There is a link in the description. They have changed some of the coupon stuff, so I don't know what price you're going to get when you get there now. It used to be that the coupon was at $9.99 because that was the lowest that I could charge, but it may be even lower now. I don't know. I do need to add a few lessons to that. There's not really, things have changed, but people had some questions that they wanted a little bit more detail on, so hopefully I can work on that during the holidays here. All the links I've clicked on for controllers, etc., are starting at $200. Is that the baseline for this hobby? All right, so baseline for the hobby is figure about 50 cents per pixel, or at least budget 50 cents per pixel. Now, you're not going to, the pixels don't cost that much, but by the time you get everything else associated with it, it's probably going to be close to that. You got, power supplies for the pixels. The controller is going to be a major expense, or a major part of the budget there. But so yeah, for 16 port controllers, $200 is about right. There's a couple of different controllers you may save a few dollars here and there, but realistically, yeah. And I recommend the Falcon controllers. I just like them. I have used them. I know David Pitts very well, and so those are the ones that I recommend. The Sand Devices controllers are also excellent controllers, a little older design. They don't have as many bells and whistles as the Falcon does, but those are excellent boards. The E6082 is the 16-channel version of that, so those are great boards too. There's other controllers out there. I just don't have them, so I cannot talk to them. There just seems so much to get my head around, and then there's playing with Xlights. I've downloaded it, but I can't seem to find a sketch that someone has already made to see and compare it to. Ye olden learning curve. Yes, Xlights is an extremely powerful sequencer. It's also got a bit of a learning curve. So I've got a couple of videos on how to go through and do a kind of a quick sequence. It doesn't go through all of Xlights. There's like I said, in my beginner playlist, I have the 3-hour training. Go through that, and that will teach you a lot about Xlights. Xlights does change quickly. There's a lot of active development going on right now, so something you may see in a video is not there anymore or moved or something like that. It's just because it's just changing so rapidly, we can't keep up with all the changes. Good, because we're getting new features and stuff, but it does kind of complicate things a little bit. There are some ways to use it, just basic stuff to get going, and just the more you use, one of those things, the more you use it, the more you'll learn how to use it. There are plenty of YouTube videos on specific parts of it. I would highly recommend you go to videos.xlights.org. There are videos in there to search for what you're trying to do. But I did do a video on the quick sequencing technique. So it's basically you set up timing marks on a piece of music. You go in there and just have it put random sequences, random effects in there. Maybe do several layers of that, and you will get something blinking your lights. And then you can go in there and you can tweak stuff, you can change the colors, and once you get more comfortable with that, then you'll be able to use it. I am not an expert at Xlights by any means. I know how to use it. I know how to get my lights flashing, and that's about as far as I've gone. There are people that just love it. They will go through the minutia of everything. That is also available. It's a very powerful tool, and just start playing with it and use it. You can play with it and kind of set up a you can draw a display and play with it without having any hardware at all. So might encourage you to start playing around with it that way. You can always change stuff and get it you can get it configured correctly, to how you wire things up. Sorry for the wall of questions. Maybe I should have been one that was filtered out. No, we don't do any of that here. So, everybody's learning. Everybody starts from nothing. Everybody brings some sort of expertise into the hobby, and we're here to answer your questions. Maybe not everybody come to me for all these questions, because A, I don't know everything, and B, there's many more of you than there is of me, so it'll take me a while to get back to you. So Jeff, I hope that was helpful to you and anybody else that's really kind of getting started this year. This thing is a lot of fun. We have a blast doing this stuff. When we get together, we have a lot of fun, so it really is a fun hobby, and I recommend it highly. Let's see. So, all right, that's about it for me this time. I've got to go check on my rolls for the dinner that I'm attending this evening. I am baking the rolls for, my family. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas, a happy holiday season. If you are in our military and you are abroad, you can't be home with your family, thank you very much for your service. We really appreciate it and can't wait for your return back home. If you have any questions, you can leave them below. Other than that, thanks for watching. Merry Christmas, and I'll see you again soon.
Now, I shot an email.
So I got 6 of these, and so I got 5 of these when I started relaxing a little bit, and then BAM!